Derek? So why is it important to care about coral bleaching projections? Well, as Dr. Enoch said, like all these goods and services they provide, but also the billions of dollars they provide globally, the nutrients they provide, but also very locally here in Southeast Florida, the coral reefs are responsible for about $2 billion in income for our local people here per year, and also responsible for about 70,000 jobs. So you can make these projections of coral bleaching on different scales, and the scale of these predictions determines what you can do with these predictions. So on a global scale, on a coarse resolution, these projections can activate people because they inform you that there is a big global problem. But they can also be used for international regulation, like the IPCC report, or federal regulations. And so what we see here is a projection we made of annual severe bleaching using an ensemble of climate models. And so each pixel is about 100 by 100 kilometers here. Key messages here are most coral reefs will bleach within the century, even if we reduce our emissions significantly. And there are spatial patterns. It's not going to happen everywhere at the same time in the globe. The equator will see it much sooner. But so what one of these messages from the scale thing is the Florida Reef Tract only has 3 pixels on this using these global climate models native resolution. And so that can't inform a local manager where he should put his dollar, where he should be put his conservation or restoration efforts. So here at AOML, we leveraged the project from Fisheries and PHOD, where they were using NOAA's modular ocean model, a 9-kilometer regional ocean model. A model like that is computationally and financially expensive to run, so you can't run it for the entire globe. But we leveraged it to project bleaching at a 9-kilometer scale, and we saw major differences in the Florida Keys in the onset of annual severe bleaching. So that can inform a local manager. We also use that model then to train and validate a statistical downscaling method that we can use to do it over the entire globe because it's computationally and financially a lot less intensive. And again, there you see sometimes at a scale of less than 100 kilometers, more than 25 years in difference in onset of annual severe bleaching. These types of work gather a lot of interest, and our stakeholders participate in it and they use it. So some of our stakeholders, UNESCO or the United Nations Environment Program, but we have many other partners that work together and use our data. And one way that they use our data is we create tools, such as easy to use Google Earth tools. This is an example where we used the downscaled climate data and a lot of other information to tell local stakeholders where to outplant acropora based on different conditions. These are the best conditions so that acropora can survive. Currently, there's about 7 organizations that have nurseries here in Florida, and there's big financial and activity involved in raising these corals. But so all the other products are also made available as Google Earth tools, easy to use for everyone, as static images that you just can copy paste in your report, your school report, whatever, but also as GIS layers for the scientists that are interested in it. So key outcomes, we've created projections ranging of coral bleaching from scales from 100 kilometers to 4 kilometers, and they show that corals are in deep trouble. The downscale projections show that there's large regional variation, so that that introduces locations of opportunities where we can and should put our restoring efforts. All these projections are made available as GIS layers, Google Earth tools, and static images. And we've also created a tool to maximize survivorship in acropora. Future work, there's a generation of climate models is coming out. So basically, we can do all of this work again. These climate models operate on higher resolutions. They have more processes involved. So it will be interesting to see if it shows up local or major differences. Thank you for your attention.